Go. All right, we'll call the meeting to order at 5:30. First item on the agenda is roll call.
Mike Steinel.
Here.
Sue Springman.
Here.
Trisha Brown.
Here.
Kristen Runge.
Here.
Joe Zitzelsberger.
Here.
Brian Wallace.
Here.
Chris Delner.
Here.
Second item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Do we have any additions, corrections, or deletions from the minutes? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item up is public comment. Do we have anybody that would like to make a public comment? Do we have anyone online that would like to make a public comment? If you're online and you would like to make a public comment, raise your hands and we'll pull you into the meeting.
I do not see any attendees online.
All right, anyone in the audience for public comment? All right, seeing none, we'll close public comment and we'll go on to item number 3, business items. Is that someone? Trisha?
Nope.
Okay. Business item number 1, public hearing and discuss and take action on a site plan application and conditional use permit at 606 Reeve Drive. And this is for final action by the Plan Commission. Lauren, would you like to present this and then we'll go to public hearing?
Before we start, just to let everybody know, I have to abstain from this conversation.
All right.
Thanks, Chris. So the application is for 606 Reeve Drive, which is the former Waunakee car wash just on the other side of Main Street from Village Hall. The plans are for a 2-story mixed-use building with adequate parking. The plans include 12 residential units and about 1,300 square feet of commercial space on the first floor. They're seeking approval for the site plan as well as a conditional use permit because this is in the C1 district where any residential use is a conditional use. The plans have been through multiple rounds of review. The outstanding comments have mostly been taken care of. The rest are more architectural and design suggestions. So that'll be part of the discussion tonight is the adequacy of the architectural design. But other than that, staff recommends approval of the site plan and CUP pending the outcome of the discussion about the architecture.
All right. And we have the petitioners here.
Yes.
Would you guys like to say anything up at the podium before we open it up for public hearing? All right. And when you come up to the microphone, if you don't mind pressing the button, it'll turn green and then we'll go.
Randy Kalinsky with Beerbecker, we're the site civil on this. As she had just mentioned, I know a lot of the discussion might be architectural in nature here tonight. Unfortunately, the architect isn't with us here tonight. I'll try to answer any questions if I can, but I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
All right, thank you. So with that, then let's open it up for public hearing. We'll open the public hearing at 5:33 p.m. Do we have anybody who would like to speak on this item for public hearing? And we do not have anyone online. So we won't call, aside from you, Trisha, but no members of the public online. All right, last call for public hearing. We'll close the public hearing at 5:34 p.m. with no comments from the public. All right, with that, we have received copies of the schematics and let's open it up for comments. Joe, would you like to go first?
Not really, but I will. In general, I don't really have a big concern with the architecture here. What I do have a concern with is that, especially on the part facing Main Street, I guess it would be the west part, is actually still residential. It's not commercial. And our comp plan, I'm pretty sure says that should be commercial along that space. So that's really my only concern.
You're referring to the building design itself?
Yeah.
Because of that residential on the.
Yep.
All right, Brian, would you like to make comments?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not sure what the architectural renderings, if these are what is suggested or whatnot, but one thing I did notice is there's a water retention facility in the front yard or in the front along Highway 19. And I didn't see anything in the plans or referencing, maybe Lauren knows about a fence along Highway 19. We did that similar to the apartments on the west end of the village. So I didn't know if that was something we wanted to consider there, especially with the water feature there. I don't know how deep it is. Doesn't look like it's very deep, but maybe something to just kind of put that behind the sidewalk to secure that.
All right. All right, Lauren, did you have any?
No, we haven't had any discussions regarding a fence.
Okay, all right. Sue,
I really would like to see the architecture improved on Main
Mhm.
Street. It's hard to see.
oh, yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd like to see the better architecture on Main Street. I can't tell really what this looks like, given, I don't know, was it an architect or an engineer who designed it? I don't see the architect.
Do you mind? Yeah.
So no, the architect is not here tonight. Is that what your
Is the
question is?
architect.
Pat Egan with One Design and Engineering.
So he works with you guys. Yeah, I can't tell what the materials are. Is this just siding, wood siding?
So forgive me, I'm not an architect, but what he's calling out. He's calling out engineered siding with a thin cut stone veneer. And then what you're seeing in kind of the brown or cocoa color is a composite siding.
But I don't see a site plan with any landscaping and how the parking lot lays out, the dumpster, what it looks like from the front. Is there any grass or is it all hard surface? It just seems very barren for a Main Street property. I'd really like to see something look better than this.
Thank you, Sue.
Is this a market rate project
Yes.
versus
market
affordable
rate,
housing?
yes, Market rate. No.
It's not affordable housing, it's market rate.
Do you want to come up to the podium so that if anyone's online or?
That's
wants to
fine.
repeat
I
it?
hear you, I hear it's market rate, which I don't mind affordable either. I'm just saying
Hi, Alex,
We could do
with
better.
Little Creek Construction. So it's market rate. Looking at page A 3.1,
hard to see on this
Mm-hmm.
line.
colored renderings of the elevations of the building.
Trying to find it because there's not real
It's page
page numbers on here that I see.
8 of the packet.
I don't.
That's,
Page 34 of the packet has the renderings and the.
Look on here, I can't see it.
Okay.
Page 34 is the what? Page 34 of the packet.
So I'm assuming when you talk about your siding materials, that's like a LP product. Based on the color renderings you got there.
Yeah, so composite siding would be like, that'd be like
So like an LP smart side.
yeah, and then the gray, the engineered is probably gonna be like vinyl. And then there's a bunch of cultured stone on the front facade, like around the aluminum storefronts here for the commercial office space. So it'd be right here. So this is all like cultured stone. Basically,
Where, point to the commercial
this is the commercial.
and how do
Or
people
right.
get to it? How does a customer get to it? Is the entrance in the front or the back? And where's the parking?
So the parking is on the north side of the building. There is an entry there that leads to a hallway that connects to the commercial space. There's also access from Main Street via sidewalk to the commercial space.
And that's separated from the residential. It's
Cor-
not shared with the residential hallway is not the same as the commercial.
It's internal. I think if you flip to another.
There's two, there's exterior sidewalk to get to the front office space from the parking lot.
So this is the Main Street frontage.
Right.
There is sidewalk that comes in and connects to the commercial space. There's access externally from the south as well to the residential portion. This is another access point from the parking lot to the north, which allows access.
Is there grass in the front?
There's also a bioretention basin, and Brian, to answer your question, it's only like 1.5 feet deep and it's not a wet pond, it's a bioretention, so it won't hold water typically. Only during rain events, and then within 24, 48 hours, it will drain down.
Yeah, it's just everything's so small and it's really hard to read. Yeah. The hallway coming in from the back has access to the commercial and the residential.
Mhm.
And how do you provide security that way? That's not typical.
The owners of the project are using the commercial space for their office.
It's an office, it's not retail.
Yeah, it's a real estate insurance office.
So the public can't just walk in, it'll be locked down, so there won't be strange people walking in the hallway.
Correct. They would access, they would park and walk around. The interior hallway is more for fire safety exits so that we have two egress exits. And then it's also for the owners to use to access from the parking lot.
Yeah. I guess I really can't follow the plans very well, I guess. This
Any other-
didn't come across in my email. I just got the.
So I guess part of the question is there access that you can show us to the commercial space from the exterior, or is it only available from the interior
If
space?
you go to the site plan, which I believe it's up, I don't know the exact 18, I believe, in the packet.
I thought he said you could enter pedestrian wise from the
Right, yeah,
front.
that's good enough. So here's the sidewalk along Main Street, there's access right here. Into the commercial space, there's also access right here from the north. In the parking lot.
And there's a sidewalk around the side.
And
No,
what's our requirement
that's not-
for, do we have
the
any
sidewalk
requirement
item.
for
Yep.
commercial on the first floor
Oh,
in a mixed use? Or, I don't know what our code, our zoning says,
Our code does not require,
any commercial,
right.
okay.
I don't know off the top of my head what the comp plan says.
What the
I would
what?
have to look into that.
Well, I don't mind the fact that there isn't any commercial, given it's kind of an awkward layout, but,
Other comments, Sue? No?
I guess I still am not sure about the look of the building.
Yeah.
I just think it's a really important piece
Mhm.
in that block, which is being redeveloped kind of parcel by parcel, and that we should, it's Main Street.
Mhm. Yeah. Mike?
I guess kind of following up on Brian's, I'm just a little confused on what that front's gonna look like with that retention pond and, you know, if it's not that deep and there's much rain, is it gonna be flooding off in the street, or how's that gonna work with the sidewalk and?
No, so the only storm sewer we have adjacent to the site is actually in Main Street. There's nothing to the north, and so the site, even in its existing condition, flows that way naturally. So we have the parking lot to the north is all kind of grades to the east, and it comes down a drainage swale on the east side of the building, where then it will enter the bioretention basin. That basin is then, there's an outlet control structure there that we tie into in the storm sewer, and so it does not overtop the sidewalk.
Okay, So it's gonna drain off and it's not gonna ever be, like, there's not gonna be cattails or whatever growing up. Right
No, so it's a bioretention basin, it's plant plugged, so it looks a little more native. There's some flowering species and things in there. It actually should look very nice if well maintained.
Okay, you don't happen to have any pictures of what that would look like?
I don't,
Okay,
not with me, I'm sorry.
okay. So then if I'm understanding right, what's really designed even now is it drains off towards the post office and then it'll run forward toward,
It comes in and there's some existing storm sewer in the southwest corner that we're reconfiguring a little bit to get it out to Main Street.
okay.
Yeah.
So and this all happens behind where the existing sidewalk is?
Correct.
Okay. I have no more questions. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Mike. Tricia?
Sorry, trying to get myself off mute. I think I agree with folks. I would like to see some more of a landscaping plan and aesthetics, just given this location in town and this opportunity to really like reinvigorate the site and that end of town. I had the same question, and I can't remember if it was Sue or who asked if it was required to have the commercial. Only because it seems like, and I love mixed use, right? I like that type of blend in a downtown area, but sometimes if it doesn't make sense, don't force it if it doesn't have to be there. But if it's something that the owners and the developers wanted, then that's a different thing. Sometimes it just seems like, especially on a smaller project, one or the other would maybe, but I'm not going to get into their pro formas and how they're making this work and what they want to do. But I think overall, I mean, there's more market rate housing in the area. It's a good use of the space, but I do think from an aesthetic perspective, we might need to just see a little bit more.
All right. All right, and I'll echo that. This is an important space downtown, and this building will attract a lot of attention. And it'll if we can get it right, it'll be here for years and people will enjoy it. So a more aesthetic facade, or and also if we can get pictures of the landscape or some concepts around the landscaping, that would be good as well. I do like the fact that you're using composite materials and that there's some masonry and what. I think it's just a matter of getting the architecture right, for me at least. And I'll agree, I'll echo what Tricia said, that sometimes that, I don't know what our comp plan specifies for percentages, if we have anything in there or not, but that commercial space can be a real hard thing to fit into a building if it's not what that building wants, so to speak. It's such a small, relatively speaking, a small building.
Individual entrances into the buildings.
Yeah, yes, come up to absolutely, come up to the podium though, so that anyone at home can hear you.
And I would just note that there is a landscape plan included
Okay, which page?
in the materials. It's 24.
24.
But if there's further renderings or things needed, along with some additional stuff for the commercial space, we can pass that information along.
Okay. I somehow missed that. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so I want to make sure I understand. So more of a clarification piece. So what you're looking for, can you hear me?
I'm sorry, could you talk a little louder? Is that on?
Is that better?
Better. Yeah.
Okay, so more of a clarification piece, so I understand what we're looking for, to make it more concise. So what you really need is, one, a landscape plan that you could visualize, probably something more color with photos, kind of easy to look at and grasp a concept, right? More than something like this, more visual with color and like a photo almost. Does that sound right? That would be better. Okay. For the facade part, you're looking for something more, now this is my interpretation, more decorative, more showing it's a commercial space, because our intention is to make it our business location, office. And I did send some ideas off to the architect, which we are finalizing. They look really nice. But you'd like to see that probably as a colored rendering, probably more visual versus engineering, right?
Correct.
Right,
Yes. So am I
something-
interpreting what everyone else is asking for as well? Okay.
Because it sounds like more visual is what we need to grasp a concept. I mean, of course, architectural, but visual makes it easier. Is that
Yes,
right?
that would be correct. Yeah.
So, all right, so those two items, because this intention will be our business where we can have our real estate, our property management, and maybe one other complementary business as we go. So more of a family business is what it is. With full intention of making it look really nice, because this is our big family investment
All
for
right.
the community. And it brings a lot of, we're using the women minority grants, we're using Latino grants, all kinds of grants, but to make it really nice, impactful, and showing people this is something you can do too in the future. And our architects and engineering are helping us through this process to make it look nice. So I think that covers, do you have any more questions though, or?
Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's me, I'm having a hard time reading the plans. It looks like there's some doors to the exterior on the first floor. So do people have the option of coming in through the back in that corridor and entering their unit is what I think I see?
Yeah.
Or they have some outdoor single door. If there's no patio doors though, they're just, so nobody's got a patio.
Right, so, right, but the primary people are gonna enter through the building versus the outside the building. You're talking about the residential spot, right?
Mhm.
There is some patio entries, I believe, in the front, right?
In the front, it looks
Yes.
like there's a door
But
from the unit, but it doesn't look like there's a pad.
no,
for-
there's no pad, more like an entry where it'll be landscaped along the side, because the lands,
Gonna walk out the door onto grass.
there,
No.
no, it's by,
So when you bring it back, show us what you're doing with that.
Yeah, we can show you. And if you look at the first floor plan, what sheet is that?
I'm looking at the first one, I think.
I think 102. and
Sheet
104.
30.
30, okay.
I think. Oh, up. Up one more. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
If you recall or look at the site plan, we have sidewalk that connects from Main Street. That sidewalk extends all the way along the front
So
of this building. So there's access to not only the commercial space, but to the main entry here, as well as unit entries.
and is that the pedestrian access for the street as well?
Yes, they can exit here, take the sidewalk and go down to Main Street.
No, I mean, if somebody's walking down that street to go to McDonald's, for instance, they're gonna walk right past those
No.
people's. So there's
Two
another,
two separate
so there's
sidewalks.
another sidewalk. Okay, so
Correct.
that's the kind of detail you should show us, so then we can see what's in between and what kind of landscaping there is, because
And we do show that on the site plan and the landscape plan. I mean, between the sidewalk adjacent to the building and the public sidewalk on Main Street is the bioretention basin. So there's separation there from the unit entries and the main public sidewalk.
but so when they exit their first floor,
Yeah.
from the door going onto Main Street, they just walk on a sidewalk.
It's a sidewalk adjacent
Yeah,
to the
there-
building, correct?
None of the units have patios where they
No.
can sit outside or decks
No,
or anything.
that's correct.
Okay. All
If I'm
right,
reading this right, the only two that have those are 102 and 104, right?
I believe, yeah, if those are the two numbers in the southwest. Yes.
and I guess the question I would have is, I kind of wonder why you even need commercial when it's so small and it creates other issues with residential. I don't know if we as a village want, it's not that significant to make a difference, and it does create more management problems for you as we have that's my business apartment, so did you have a tenant in mind or,
Think that you're the tenant. Yeah,
oh, you would be the tenant?
Yeah, we would.
Oh, okay, all right.
yeah. So there, it would be your building and your real estate office and your real estate management office specifically in there. Yeah.
And am I seeing this, that there's underground parking? There's one stall per unit underground and then there's surface for additional? Okay,
And 2 EV parking spaces. Two
There's
EV parking.
two,
EV.
okay.
And I am looking now at sheet 24, which is the landscape plan. And it looks like we have on the side, southwest side, a grassy area, and then a combination of, it looks like, choke cherry trees, creeping juniper, red twig dogwood, that provides then a screen from the parking lot or a buffer. And then in the front of the building, on the southwest corner, is that a tree?
Correct,
There,
correct,
okay.
yep.
It's a linden or a hackberry, one or the other.
There's not much green in the back at all. It's pretty much parking lot, right? We don't have any requirements for,
The requirements are a certain number of trees per a certain number of parking spaces. So they've met all of the requirements in code for landscaping.
but no concern about water drainage.
No, the engineers have looked over it and they don't see any issues.
Okay. Thank you for pointing out the landscaping plan.
Yeah.
As I whizzed by it earlier today, I was looking at parking lot and not paying attention to trees. And we're meeting the parking requirements, it looks like. Okay, great. Other questions? We've got? Tricia, anything else that you'd like to add? All right. So then I guess our goal today will have to be bring it back to the next plan commission meeting. Yeah, it was just a little bit more detail in the architectural drawings.
Okay, and so architectural drawings, you want one more of the facade is what you want? Is that it? Just the facade or?
And specify the materials being used, please.
Okay,
Yeah.
It looks like you have, but just make sure that that's accurate.
Can you go back to the colored rendering
Okay,
of the building?
page, let's see here.
Yeah, yeah, right there. Down one. Down one more, please. So that's kind of showing what we have right now. So just. Is it the color that, or do you want to see more stone, or just kind of want to hear some thoughts, I guess,
Mhm.
around it?
I'm not an architect. I just,
I think there's more visual interest on the rear of the building than the side that faces Highway 19, which will be the main, the main road or the main view of it.
you're thinking more something back here is.
Yeah, because what you're pointing to now, correct, is the front of the
Yeah, that's
portion of the
right.
building
That-
that faces
yes.
19.
Mhm.
Yeah.
is that an overhang in the front and the back? Like a bedroom's coming out or a living room that's overhanging?
Yeah,
I just warn you, you're gonna have a cold floor unless you do something special there.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think we just probably need more detail. I mean, architect will probably have some ideas, but the facade of the building, to me at least, does look a little.
It
plain.
looks, I think maybe the issue is that it's on a commercial street
Mhm.
in what I consider our downtown, and it looks like it belongs in the suburbs.
Mhm.
So I don't know how you change that. I think as we allow, I mean,
Well, do you want to see?
I don't know how you change that.
or-
it looks,
What you were-
it looks residential, but doesn't look like a Main Street property. And I don't know how you change that.
Would we have some examples from other projects that we could give them to give some guidance as far as what we're looking for?
That's a great idea, Tricia. Lauren?
I can take a look. I don't know that we have a whole lot of projects that, and granted, my knowledge is limited on what's available. But comparable projects, I think, might be a little bit hard to come by because usually when we're talking about apartments, we're talking about big, like 75 unit buildings, and not on Main Street. So other than like Lamp House, I can't think of any off the top of my head that would be comparable. But what I'm hearing so far, at least, is that there's more visual interest on the north side of the building along Reeve than there is on the south side of the building that faces Main Street. And so maybe we're talking about creating more visual interest either with like fenestrations or changes in materials, but something that brings a little bit more visual interest than what is essentially kind of a brick wall along Main Street.
Yeah, I mean, it's a composite siding wall
Mhm.
along Main Street.
Yeah.
It's just very flat.
Yeah, I think typically.
Could be
you
as
see
simple as
brick.
just changing some of the,
Yeah.
where you have your pops of color. You know, you've got, like, if I'm looking at the front, you've got Cascade, I believe is the word, on the upper right, and then just a little piece in the middle, and maybe there's a way to make the middle section, for example, pop and, you know, change that dynamic a little bit to mix that up, because otherwise it's mostly teak color around the whole building. And maybe incorporate a little more stone in spots. Change of elevation, you know, change the height of the stone wall or something like that. Again, I'm
Awesome.
not an architect.
This is Main Street. It might also be the type of door units you're using. And maybe, I don't know if it would be windows that would affect how it would look, windows and doors. I mean, this door is. I'm not sure. I'm not an architect. I'm
Yeah,
sure an architect.
thanks for the
can come up with
feedback.
That pop.
I think we have like enough information from
Yeah.
you guys tonight to kind of work on the elevations and everything, and then bring something back
Okay.
for you to
All right.
review. And we'll look at the lamp house
Can I
too.
ask if you have to have that door from the unit going out to the front? Because I almost wonder if that isn't one of the things that works against it. It looks odd. Have that sidewalk there and have people.
I thought the same thing, Sue, but then when I start thinking about it, you know, obviously access from the back parking lot generally day to day, right? But if somebody wants to get out and walk Main Street,
Mhm.
that's the access point. Potentially, right? Cause you've got, each of the units has a door, but anybody upstairs could potentially come out that door and be right on Main Street sidewalk.
Yeah.
Now,
I
maybe
think
it's a way
you're
out.
talking about those two apartments that are.
Well, maybe they stay inside as well, right? And everything comes out that door?
That's what I
I-
think.
Yeah, can they get out? I mean, I think that would change the layout of the building, because I don't think those,
There's entrances on the inside of the building
Yeah.
for those.
okay,
yeah.
for those two units too, okay.
Right.
I was just trying to think what might, you know.
Yeah.
Cause that door is. Kind of utilitarian looking.
The unit entry door.
This door? That
Yeah,
goes-
Yeah. The actual doors into 102 and 104 there.
This is the door going into the hallway,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Which everybody could use then to get out. It's just. I don't know if I'd want a sidewalk going across my whole unit and everybody walking by me, but
All right.
anyway,
All right,
just thoughts.
we gave you a lot of feedback.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks though for bringing this project forward. Oh, one more thing, Joe.
I just, was digging into the comp plan a little bit, and there is a part about reserving frontage along Main Street, east of Holiday Drive, basically for commercial uses. So that's kind of what I'm wrestling with
Mhm.
from that standpoint. So I don't know if that's a dramatic shift here. It feels like just the single commercial space here.
It's out of place.
It's out of place. Yeah, it feels like there either needs to be more or less, and less, honestly, I feel like just a residential building here feels out of place as well. So I don't know what the solution is.
Yeah,
When we do our comp plan, we need to look at these sites.
yeah, I think we do. Yeah, be a little more specific perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
all
right,
right.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. All right, next item on the agenda then?
We don't need any motion on the table that.
No, it just comes back. Yep. Next item on the agenda is discuss and take action on Heritage Hills Phase 8. This is the 7th edition, and this is a the final plat and for final action by village board. So with that, you guys may have the podium.
Good evening. My name is Dan Day from D'Onofrio Cockey and Associates, representing Viridian Homes. With me tonight is Brian Munson from Vanderwall, in case there's any questions that you might have for us tonight. We're bringing forward the next phase of the development, pretty much like we do every year, doing a phase 8, which is 18 total lots. So relatively small phase compared to previous phases, but something that we feel that the market needs in this year to be able to keep things moving along out there. Just kind of a natural extension of the phasing from phase 7, going kind of northeast a little bit, adding more twin homes and more single family homes. So just excited to bring this forward, keep working through the approval process with the village here, and just available to answer any questions if you have them. Thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, and thanks for bringing this forward. So let's start. Mike, do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions at this time. Okay.
Chris? Brian?
And just to clarify, Dan, the last few times there's been a modification to the lots. None of that's happening this time. It's
That
just
is
per
correct.
plan, per
Yep,
original
this
plan
is
here.
still according to the preliminary plat that was approved last year.
All right, thank you.
All right, Sue?
Any questions?
No questions, Joe?
I'm just curious, Cozy Farm Road, I'm assuming that runs up to the north and probably intersects with something that's going to run out to Schumacher.
Actually, there's a roadway, if I can point on the screen. Right in that area, that will be extended with another plat that will go out to Schumacher. So
Oh,
that'll be
okay.
our southern connection to Schumacher, is right about at that curve there of Cozy Farm.
Is it on another? Oh, there we go. Okay. Perfect.
And the one outstanding staff recommendation,
I'm gonna ask Trisha if she's got any questions.
okay,
Trisha?
Oh, no, actually, my question isn't necessarily related to the plat. I don't have any concerns about that. I was just more so curious if this was at pace, ahead, behind of what they had been anticipating or forecasting.
I think it's basically at pace. I actually ran up the numbers today of, our allowable building permits and developable lots versus what we had envisioned way back when we did the annexation agreement, and we're, I think, 20 lots behind that pace. So, yeah, I think we're pretty close. I mean, we're 487 dwelling units in right now with this. So, yeah, that's pretty close in the end of the day.
Awesome, thanks.
Yes, Sue?
Are you still selling them all or are you renting some of them in order to sell them later?
These are all for sale.
These are all for
yes.
sale. Good.
Yep.
All right, and Laura, Joe, I'm sorry.
Do we, what is phase 9 likely to end up being?
I don't know. I have some personal preferences, but that doesn't really matter. It's really going to be more market driven.
Okay.
I hope that we can go up Breinig and complete along the park, but we have to see if that's going to match what the market says that they need for product. Otherwise, we might just extend north from here a little bit and get some more of the single family. So it just really depends what the market's going to tell us in the next 6 to 8 months, because we'll start this summer, start making plans already for next year. So.
Sure. And then there's construction coming on 19, I think in 2026, if I recall correctly. Anything that you're planning that will coincide with that?
So we have improvements that we're required to do as part of the annexation and development agreement on Schumacher. And there's a cap of the number of units before we do our improvements to Schumacher. That would maybe be hit next year, but I don't know how that's going to phase out with if we want to connect to Schumacher yet or not. So it's a conversation we can have in 6 months. I just don't know how that's going to be and work out. In one sense, I don't even want to get anywhere near the DOT doing work out at Schumacher in 19, and then we just come in and do our stuff after the fact so that it's not, a crazy mess out there.
Understandable.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
The market's doing interesting things, is it not?
I think it changes by the hour.
It does. It does. All right, and Lauren, you were going to talk about, I think, the
the naming of the
yes.
road. is the only outstanding staff comment. It creates some issues for addressing when a road takes a turn, especially one kind of that sharply basically makes a left-hand turn there. And so I think on some of the engineering drawings, it had been proposed as Cozy Farm Way, potentially. But
That was a mistake.
Okay.
We'll come up with a completely different roadway name than
Okay.
Cozy Farm.
Okay.
So we'll, at the curve here, we'll change it, or maybe the proposed new intersection that goes east, we'll change it to something else going northbound. But we're fine with that as a condition of approval.
Okay.
And we'll come up with a new name that will satisfy EMS and emergency services.
And staff will approve the final
Yes.
decision.
Yeah, so ideally it would be on the plat for village board to approve, and we would make sure to do all of the staff approvals ahead of time.
All right. Any other questions? No? All right.
Motion to recommend approval of the final plat for the 7th edition
Yes.
of Heritage Hills, subject to renaming of the north-south alignment of Cozy Farm Road and subject to completing all outstanding staff comments to the satisfaction of the senior planner.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on the motion? No, seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
It's exciting to see things keeping moving forward. All right. Next up, Joint Plan Commission update. Did we have a Joint Plan Commission?
There is no joint plan commission this month, but there will be next month.
Okay, excellent. Are we going to exist? For a while, yes, because they haven't incorporated yet. Quite possibly, yes. So Joint Plan Commission, but not Plan Commission itself. Yeah. All right. And one last thing, we didn't have an announcements today, but Tricia, this is your last night serving as a plan commissioner. So I want to say thank you for all of the work that you've done and the wisdom and experience you've brought to the job. We've very much appreciated it. We've grown as a village because of your efforts. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I'm so sorry I couldn't be there tonight, you guys. When one thing happens, another does, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're glad you could be here by video though. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
All right.
guys. It's been fun.
Good. I agree. We've had some good time. All right. One last motion. Tricia, do you want to make the final motion for
I'll
tonight?
move to adjourn.
All right.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thanks, guys. See y'all.
See you.